Hi there, welcome to GrainTV. I'm Kevin McNew. It's Thursday, January 14th. We had a mixed day in the markets. Let's take a look at the grain hedge trading platform and see where we closed. In Chicago, wheat led to the downside, losing 9.25 cents. Beans managed a 4.5 cent advance, and corn, after all of the day of trading, ended the day unchanged. News today was pretty light. There were some things to talk about, though. Let's start first with what NOAA, or the National Weather Service, has to say about El Nino. In particular, what they're saying in their latest monthly outlook is that El Nino has peaked and will eventually transition into a state of ENSO neutral. Now, there have been meteorologists that have been suggesting that we're going to go right from this peak El Nino into a La Nina, and that would be problematic potentially for the U.S. La Ninas, especially in the summer, tend to be associated with a drought. But the National Weather Service has said we will not go to, or at least they're predicting we will not go to a La Nina this summer, that we will instead go to the neutral state, which is between El Nino and La Nina. So, do we count out a drought for this year? No, but the National Weather Service has certainly put the cards out there to say it's not as likely. Other news that came out, we had export sales reported by USDA, and those numbers were mostly neutral for soybeans and wheat. Both of those estimates came in within range of expected values. In corn, we managed to just break above the high end of expectations with 669,000 metric tons exported versus expectations that ranged from 400 to 650. Also, news for corn out this morning. Mexico had a flash sale announced by USDA of 105,000 metric tons, so that was somewhat supportive as well. But when we look at the longer term prognosis of our export pace, we see corn really struggling to do any sort of meaningful business. So far, year to date, cumulative export sales are off 25% from the same period last year. Even with USDA's 50 million bushel reduction in exports on Tuesday, they are only calling for a 9% drop. That's a shortage of about 300 million bushels. So even though USDA is at 1,700 million bushels, if we keep this pace up of falling short by 25%, that means we're going to end the year with a true export value of 1,400, not 1,700. So that is really problematic in my opinion. Soybeans, we are off of last year's pace, but not by a huge margin. And then wheat also struggling to meet the expectation met by USDA. Let's take a switch now and turn to the charts. And we had a pretty good day in beans where we actually cleared the 881 mark we talked about yesterday as being a turning point to get a little more short covering. So 881 was the high end. After the announcement of the report, we saw that big spike in volatility up to 881, and finally today we cleared it. And the good news for the bulls is we actually closed the day above that, and the question will be, can we continue to grind higher? I don't think we're going to shoot higher, but we have a decent chance of getting up into the 885, maybe even the 890 range. But I think tomorrow is going to be a critical day because it is a Friday and we have a holiday weekend coming up. So will traders continue to be betting on the long side, or shorts continuing to exit with a 3-day weekend and the prospect for new weather outlook in South America? So hold on to your hats and see what tomorrow brings before you get overly excited about this recovery in beans. In corn, we have not had as much success as we had in beans. Corn had that upside on the report day of 364. We've not even come close to it. Since then, today we did manage to get up to 360.5, but closed well below that. So corn continues to sort of face pretty stiff selling when we get any sort of measurable increase in price. And again, my thought is that corn really has the biggest strike against it of the two, with the really poor or dismal export pace we're facing. So if you're really concerned about corn prices, I think you should be. We know some farmers are starting to liquidate some of those old crop stocks that they've been sitting on since harvest. If you have questions about your own marketing situation and want to talk to markets, want to get some advice from one of us here, give us a call, 877-472-4607, or visit us online at grainhedge.com and see how we might be of assistance to you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, and trade safely.